熊老师，真的太感谢你今天来当了一个证婚人啦。
没关系，这都
Oh, Teacher Shen, really, thank you so much for being the officiant today. No problem, it's what I should do. The ceremony is about to start in a little while. Please go inside and get ready. Okay, I'll go get busy first. Then I'll come back to find you. All right, go on then. Today, the wedding I'm attending is a surprise that I, together with the male guest and the woman's parents, prepared for the woman without her knowing. We spent half a year on it. It wasn't until last night, when the wedding dress was delivered, that the woman realized today is her wedding day. I introduced them 3 years ago. Back then, the woman had just graduated from university not long before. Because of her major, it was hard to find a job. The woman's mother said, "How about you save some money first, solve various problems, and then..." So the woman came to do blind dates. The man is 2 years older than the woman. He works at a central state-owned enterprise with a monthly salary of 10,000 yuan. For a university graduate of 2 or 3 years, that's already very good. Because both of their hometowns are in counties divided by districts, they both rented in the main city. Plus, the woman didn't have a job and needed to prepare full-time for the civil service divided by establishment exams. So the man's 10,000 yuan salary covered 2 rents and 2 sets of living expenses, and even needed to cover the woman's exam preparation material fees and training course registration fees. Life was really tight. So the man often volunteered for overtime. Among the batch that joined together, you could say he was the most hardworking. In this way, one studied hard, the other worked hard. After more than a year, the woman passed her exam and landed a post. The man was promoted with a raise and became a project supervisor. Although among peers the man was already very capable, he still often felt insecure because he read too much online about cases of first sword after landing cut the beloved one. Unexpectedly, at this time, the woman took the initiative to propose marriage. The man asked very seriously, "You need to think it through. I don't have a house or a car right now. My mom will support a bit of the down payment, but I might not even have money for the renovation. I don't really have any savings." The woman said, "Hey, you don't have savings because I used them, right? You make 200,000 a year now, plus I have a job and can earn money. Buying a house is only a matter of time." He said, "But my hometown is in the countryside." She said, "Well, I also have a younger brother. I'm not any better off than you. And your mom is very capable working out of town. She built a house back home and bought an apartment in town. She also raised you to be so excellent. You didn't look down on me when I didn't have a job before. How could I possibly look down on you for anything? I think your character and sense of responsibility are more reliable than any house or car." The man asked the woman, "So, how much bride price does your family want? I'll go scrape it together." The woman said, "What bride price? I spent so much of your money before, how could I have the nerve to ask you for a bride price?" So the woman didn't ask for anything at all, and they just went and got the marriage certificate. The man felt bad in his heart, so he transferred all of his only 100,000 yuan in savings to the woman as a bride price. The woman didn't spend a single cent, she saved it all. Later, when the man's mother fell ill and needed surgery, the woman saw her husband running between the hospital and the company with no time to rest. Without a word, she took out that 100,000 yuan to pay her mother-in-law's hospitalization fees and to help resume work. At that moment, the man made up his mind he absolutely could not let his wife be wronged. When they had been married for a year, the man had finally saved another 100-some thousand, and the woman had saved 50 or 60,000. The parents-in-law put up 400,000 to support the young couple in buying a house. The woman planned to use 450,000 for the down payment, 100,000 for renovations, and leave the remaining tens of thousands for emergencies. Seeing that the woman hadn't kept a single cent for herself and had thought everything through, the man asked, "Should we hold a wedding banquet?" The woman said, "Yeah, what wedding? Spending that much money for 1 day of bustle, better to use the money to shore up our life." The man couldn't bear to see the woman wrong herself like this, so he asked me for help. "Sister Chiang, I can earn wedding money again, but if we don't hold a wedding, no matter how much money I make later, I can't make up for that regret." So after that, the man worked even harder. Aside from handing his salary over to the woman, he secretly saved all extra bonuses. He had me help choose the wedding dress and outfits for the woman. Both sets of parents secretly chose the venue and notified relatives and friends. Finally, after more than half a year, we got this wedding ready. Many people ask me, why get married? I think today's couple provides a perfect answer. Days of mutual support between two people are always more hopeful than living alone. In just 3 short years, the two of them went from so-called migrant workers in a rental apartment to one becoming a junior manager at a central SOE, and the other landing a secure iron rice bowl. They have love, a home, and careers. But if they hadn't been together? Without the man's financial support, the woman couldn't have prepared full-time for her exam. Who knows where she'd be working now? And without the woman's emotional support, the man wouldn't have worked so hard, wouldn't have been noticed and promoted by leadership, becoming management at such a young age. But together, with their strength pulling in the same direction, life naturally moved towards something better, didn't it? No matter what their future days become, and whether the two young people can keep their original intentions, at least at this moment, the two of them truly love each other. Isn't that enough?
很多20多岁的小姑娘网络上毒鸡汤喝多了，一天到晚喊着不婚不育，然后她们到30多。
Many young girls in their 20s drink too much toxic chicken soup from the internet, spending all day shouting, no marriage, no childbirth. Then, when they reach their 30s, they suddenly wake up and come back to consult me. Yes, I make money off exactly this. It's like a bullet fired many years ago, and when you turn 30-something, it hits you right between the eyes. Yesterday, I ran into such a case. I can't really call her a little girl anymore because she's already 35. After consulting me, she sent me this message. She said, I really regret not dating or going on blind dates before 30. I only cared about playing and having fun. Back then, I didn't have the concept of finding a partner at all. If you share what we talked about, please tell those sisters. Make sure to work hard to find someone while you're young. And also, don't date for too long. Before I was 30, I dated a boyfriend for 5 years. We didn't get married in the end. Maybe it was because of that failed relationship that it took me so long to heal. So I just never dated or went on blind dates again. This woman, born in 1989, came to me very late last night for a consultation. What's her situation? She said that right now she's entangled in several messy relationships, long-distance love, a man much older than her, or so-called second-generation rich. I told her, these aren't suitable. You need to find someone honest and reliable. But she's looking for partners using apps like Soul, Momo, Tantan, and Detain. Aren't those just hookup apps? Aren't they just apps for two people to meet up? From my perspective, as a professional, emotional consultant, I see those apps as purely hookup platforms. I really wonder, how can some people's minds be so unclear? It's not that she has low education, and she doesn't even live in a small town, but to find a partner, you're going on apps like Tantan and Momo? Are you crazy? On those platforms, there are tons of married men, divorced men, foot massage girls, medical beauty workers, all kinds of messy types. And you want to find a life partner there? Insanity. In real life, I often see in my comment section many people scolding me, calling me pro-male, saying I always side with men. But these women are truly confused. They can't tell good advice from bad. I've said this in many cases. If you don't achieve in your career, then, as a woman, you either focus on career or on men. You must grasp at least one. Of course, if you can manage both career and men, even better. But some women only earn $3,000 to $5,000 a month, or even under $10,000 in first or second-tier cities. Yet they keep chanting, no marriage, no childbirth. If you come from a wealthy family, fine, ignore me, your parents can support you. But if you don't have that background, and you neither pursue love nor career, then what are you doing? By the time you're around 30, your hormones will be pushing you to want marriage and children. And at that point, you'll discover, oh, the men on the market aren't interested in me anymore. You can't just keep self-indulging. Some young women in their 20s might dress up prettily, today going to yoga, tomorrow traveling, posting a polished, delicate life on social media, while their real life is unfinished and hollow. Their girlfriends praise them, and they lose sight of reality. But your girlfriends are your competitors, you know? On Xiaohongshu, so many girls ask whether they should break up with their boyfriends, and the comments overwhelmingly encourage breaking up. Honestly, many of those people can't stand to see you happy. So they encourage single forever or dancing cha-cha with girlfriends in the nursing home. If you truly have the strength and the money, then whether you're single or married, you won't live too badly. Because you have the ability to create happiness. I've said before, marriage is a neutral word. Those with ability can live well whether married or not. Those without ability marriage might only accelerate their misery. Many people who complain about marriage being bitter, even if they stayed single, their lives wouldn't be much better, because they lack the ability to manage happiness and lack the ability to judge people. They always find scumbags, always so precise in finding scumbags. For those women who still want to find a partner, you need to ask yourselves, what's wrong with me? Why is it that I always end up with poor, stingy, scummy men? Most likely, it's because you're too lacking in love. Your original families were too lacking in affection. You desperately crave emotional value from men. But you don't understand what a truly good man looks like. For example, yesterday, an old client came to me. She said her current boyfriend isn't as generous as her ex. I asked her, but didn't your ex never save money, even making his parents pay off his debts? At least your current boyfriend is normal. And besides, you never spend money on men. You're spending maybe 1/10 of what they spend on you. So why should he be generous? That's double standards. So many people can't see their own problems. They always think the issue lies with others. They don't realize they are the problem. As for me, yes, I speak bluntly. That's why my consultations are always paid. Because I tell the truth. And I worry that if I tell the truth, people will find it unpleasant. If they don't pay me, then why should I offend them for free? So if you want to hear the truth, come to me. If you want sweet lies, tell me when you pay, I can tell you that too. I can say anything. But many people, after consulting me, aren't happy. Why? Because I didn't say what they wanted to hear. I didn't stroke their ego. But what I said was reality. So I always say, if you're thin-skinned, don't come to me. If you truly want the truth, then come. Because among your girlfriends, especially women, who's really going to tell you the truth? Why would they risk offending you? If they offend you, you might resent them, talk behind their back. So really, plastic friendships among women are very common. Girlfriends often blindly cheer each other on. No marriage, no childbirth, all that nonsense. But are you living in other people's fantasy world, or are you living your own life? Let me tell you straight. If you want a partner, then date. Even if you say, I don't want children, you still need a companion. You still need love. Because love hormones make your skin glow, they make your mood brighter. But some people just don't think. They only crave emotional value from men, yet learn nothing from them. So they think, I don't need to date. And then, when they turn 30-something, as I said, their hormones drive them to want children. And they discover nobody cares about them anymore. At that point, isn't it too late? Just like the woman I mentioned, the one who sent me that message. Now, at 35, she's finding that most available men are divorced, remarried, with kids. At this stage, it's basically no longer possible. It's like the daylily has already gone cold. If you only realize your problem now, isn't it too late? That's why I especially want to tell female college students, those in their early 20s. Think carefully about whether you want marriage. This anxiety isn't something I created. I just want you to think carefully and not regret it later. If you don't want men, then focus on money. If you make money, I'll salute you. But if you neither pursue men nor money, if you live in a muddle, indulging yourself day by day, living off toxic chicken soup on Xiaohongshu and Weibo, getting intoxicated by empty slogans, please, weigh yourself. Live in reality, not in illusions. In your 20s, you're young and in demand. Take the chance when good men pursue you, pick one who has decent character and reliability. Don't keep fantasizing about domineering CEOs falling in love with you, or some friend marrying a tycoon. You couldn't endure the hardship they did, yet you want to enjoy the blessings? What are you thinking? So, sisters, face reality.
漂亮的女生年轻的时候，在1、2线城市很容易碰到的。
Beautiful young women, in their 20s, in first and second-tier cities, very easily encounter rich second-generation heirs, and it's especially easy for them to start relationships with them. But I must remind you, be very cautious. Why? Let me explain clearly. First, rich heirs, 8 or 9 times out of 10, will eventually go back home to inherit the family business. Don't be fooled if they say they're training in big cities now, or rebelling against their families, saying, I must strike out on my own. Starting a business isn't that easy. After a few years, when they hit walls, grow older, their arrogance fades, and then going home to inherit is the most likely outcome. Even if right now he swears to you he'll never go back, don't fully believe it. Second, rich heirs often seem immature, but their moment of maturity can arrive in an instant. Before 28, they may treat relationships as just fun, pure puppy love. But once they pass 28, especially when considering marriage, they suddenly become very clear-headed. At that point, their family's standards for a future daughter-in-law become decisive, and you may realize you don't meet those standards. They may not take you seriously at all. Third, dating a rich heir does have its perks. They tend to be generous because the money isn't earned by themselves, so spending it doesn't hurt. They don't need to work as hard, so they have plenty of time to accompany you. They know how to enjoy life, and they can take you to see all kinds of good things. Your quality of life skyrockets. But here's the problem. If you date them too long and get too used to it, your appetite gets spoiled. Your standards get raised. Later, when you date ordinary men, you'll find it all boring. Nobody looks good enough. Do you think those attractive, well-educated, older single women in first-tier cities never dated rich heirs when they were young? Almost all of them did. Their vision and standards got pulled up, and they couldn't bring them down again. That's why they remain single. Meanwhile, their rich ex-boyfriends? They may already have several children by now. Many women didn't understand this when they were young. If their parents weren't there to warn them, they wasted their best years. Of course, in the end, you can't blame others. It's you who wasted yourself. So, women with beauty, please don't gamble your best youth. If you lose the gamble, it will be too hard to recover later. If you only look at appearances when searching for a partner, you will never find one for the rest of your life. Do you believe that? There are many people who, the moment they see a photo that doesn't fit their personal aesthetic, immediately pass without even giving the other person a chance to meet. And then there are others who try to make some effort. Well, if it really doesn't work, I'll at least meet once. But after meeting, if the other person's looks still don't match their idea of beauty, they immediately pass again. But let's be honest. Look around at all the people in your life. How many of them actually fit perfectly into your personal standards of beauty? Some people say, well, in our village, everyone looks pleasing to me. My aunts and uncles all look fine to me. But that's because you grew up with them, side by side since childhood. Now, let a stranger look at your aunts and uncles. Do you think they'll find them pleasing to the eye? That's why, when looking for a partner, you must look at what's inside. Yes, the inside. If you see someone, and honestly, as long as their looks don't disgust you to the point that you can't eat, or make you physically repulsed, then if they have strong qualities in other aspects, it is completely possible to build a life together. If someone makes you lose your appetite because of looks, you need to pause and ask, does this person have any noble inner qualities? For example, this guy may not look that great, but maybe his education is solid, he has good depth, maybe he has strong character, maybe he is responsible, maybe he knows how to care for others. These are noble qualities on the inside. So, to all the appearance-obsessed face control people out there, have you found what you're looking for after so many years of searching? That's why, if you always run away the moment someone's looks don't hit your aesthetic point, to be honest, you really might never find anyone in your whole life. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us.
What is
the most exhausting thing about blind dates? It's that you are forever wavering between settling and missing out. The one you like doesn't like you. The one who likes you, you feel they're just a bit off. Finally, after a long wait, you meet someone who seems perfect in every way. And what happens? That person never even considered you at all. Meanwhile, time passes year after year. By the time you wake up, the people you once thought of as settling have already found younger, prettier partners. And now when you want to turn back? Sorry, there's no such thing as a regret pill in the blind date market. If you want blind dating to succeed, remember these 3 sentences. Don't expect to find someone perfect. Everyone has flaws. Good partners don't wait around. The longer you pick and choose, the sooner they'll be gone. Remember, while you are disliking others, others are disliking you too.
有些话其实我不敢当面说，用这么久的
There are some words I usually don't dare to say directly. But after so many years of matchmaking, here's an iron law. From a man's perspective, the very first glance at a woman decides the outcome of the blind date. If that first impression doesn't work, then no matter how well the two of you talk, afterward, it still won't work. There are always cases like this. After the blind date, both sides give us their feedback, yes or no. And if the man says no, women are always very surprised. But we talked so well, how could it be a no? What's the reason? Well, this is exactly where our emotional intelligence is tested as matchmakers. It's hard to say it directly to the woman's face, but honestly, it's because, for the man, the very first impression didn't pass. She simply didn't meet his basic standard of appearance. And that's why it doesn't work.
男生找对象最好要避开大龄剩女。如果一个
Men should avoid marrying older leftover women when looking for a partner. If you are a man who is truly outstanding, with money and ability, let me give you a piece of advice. Never choose an older leftover woman. Yes, these words may sound harsh, but they are not wrong. Older leftover women are the byproduct of materialism and endless chicken soup for the soul. They carry a kind of having too many options mentality. And when it comes to choosing a partner, they always have some kind of problem. Otherwise, why would they still be single until now? Don't you think I'm right?
去做一个内心强大又厉害的男人吧。
你怎么对我，我就怎么
Be a man with a strong heart and real strength. The way you treat me is the way I will treat you. We are both independent individuals. You may be the princess who grew up as the only cherished child in your family, but I didn't just jump out of a rock like the Monkey King. Giving in a relationship must always be mutual. If you don't know how to do something, then learn. If you can't do something, then try. This is the kind of attitude and sincerity 2 people being together should have. You say men should take the initiative, fine, no problem. I will take the initiative. But I will not always be the only one taking initiative. You don't have to take the first step, but you can't remain motionless when I do. All of my motivation to move forward comes from you reaching out your hands to meet mine, not from you standing there cold-faced and indifferent. Yes, I really like you. But that doesn't mean I have no other choices. If we are fortunate enough to walk all the way to the end together, I will cherish every step of the process. But if you want to get off halfway, then go, well, I won't stop you. I will still be grateful for our meeting, but I will no longer be afraid of saying goodbye.
家人们又来到了我的快乐星球相亲角，总有人问我啊，冉姐，
Family, here we are again at my Happy Planet Matchmaking Corner. People often ask me, Sister Ran, I have no looks and no money. How can I break through? Don't blame me for being blunt, but you can't just lie flat and wait for a partner to fall from the sky. Will it kill you to have a sweet mouth? Will it break your hands to be diligent? The ones I can't stand the most are those with no looks and no money, yet they still try to act aloof and high and mighty. The dating and marriage market is not about looks and money alone. It's about cost-performance ratio. If you can't provide looks, and you can't provide money, then you'd better be willing to give genuine sincerity. Be steady. Stop always thinking about taking shortcuts.
男朋友不愿给密码，宁愿分手，真的有问题吗？首先是这样的。
A boyfriend not willing to give you his password and even preferring to break up over it. Is that really a problem? First of all, let me break this issue down for you. If he doesn't want to give you his phone password and he suggests breaking up, then it must be because you insisted on having it while he insisted on not giving it. Right? Then you argued, you fought, you made a scene, and he couldn't take it anymore. So he said, if this isn't working, then let's break up. So after hearing your question, I feel like maybe both sides have problems here. Let me put it this way. Don't watch too many couple bloggers on the internet, because I'll tell you the truth. The chances that a man will give you his phone password or hand over his full salary to you are very, very small. Do I hand over my salary? Of course not. Have you ever seen a first-generation man hand over his company or salary? Impossible. Back in our parents' generation, maybe it happened. But today, when you bring up this topic, things are different. Many girls love to argue. My mom didn't work, my dad started a business, and my dad handed the money to my mom. Brother, what era was that? Your mom built everything together with your dad from scratch. How can you compare that to today's men with companies? It's just not possible. Times are different now. Back then, trust was much stronger. Today, no way. Now, everyone needs a bit of their own privacy, their own space. Right? To be blunt, do you give your parents your phone password? No. So let's imagine if I were on a live stream and I said, yes, men should hand over their salary, men should give their phone passwords to women. Would people believe me? Do you think men would accept that? If I said that, I'd just be helping to brainwash you together with them. What I'm doing is simply describing the objective reality today. And describing the objective reality is not the same thing as taking sides. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me.
最好如果咱们的收入水平跟得上的话
It's best, if your income level allows it, to buy a car when you're looking for a partner. You asked me just now why. It's because you've probably never considered this from the female perspective. Think about it. If a girl who isn't familiar with you goes on a date with you, even if you take a taxi to pick her up or to drop her off, you still don't have a private space. But if you have a car that you've decorated yourself, then that car becomes your little private territory. It's your second home. That's why a man with some money must have a car. It's your private domain for dating. A place where you can hold hands, where things won't feel so awkward. Because if you're sitting in a taxi with a driver there, then making a move would be inappropriate and the girl would feel awkward. That's the first point. The second point is this. If you're not a man, you'll never understand from a woman's perspective the charm a man has when he's in control of a massive machine, something larger than both of your bodies combined. That kind of charisma is very real. Let me tell you a story. I once dated a man born in 1987, the one I showed you earlier in the green shirt. To be honest, he wasn't very good looking. But he never needed to go on blind dates. Why? Because he was normal and decent. Many women complain, why can't I meet a normal man on blind dates? And many men also say, why can't I meet a normal woman? The truth is, normal people don't need blind dates. They can easily find partners on their own. This ex of mine, what made me eventually fall for him, even though at first I didn't think he was attractive? There were 2 moments. I'll tell you one of them today. Once after a date, he drove me home. When we found his car in the parking lot and got inside, he sat on the driver's side. As men do in China, I sat in the passenger seat. When he was reversing the car, he turned his head back to look behind. And because I was sitting next to him, I also turned my head back to help him look. So we both turned our heads at the same time. After a few turns of the wheel, suddenly we both looked at each other, and right there he leaned over from behind my neck and kissed me. Just 2 light kisses. That's it. Simple. Without a car, you'll never have this kind of moment. And I thought, wow, a woman is born with a house, her body. That's why she has natural confidence. And if you, because she carries the house that can bear children, but a man doesn't have that. So your car becomes your portable home. Your valuable, movable house always with you. That's why you must buy one. If you don't have money, fine, forget it. But if you do, then investing in a car is the most effective move you can make. I hope all young men can share this advice with others. And when you hear it, don't rush to criticize. Why should we please women? Why should we think about them? Because in life, even if you don't please a woman to make her your wife, you'll still need to please female bosses or female clients. The more you understand women, the more money you'll make, and the better your life will be. So don't resist. After all, half of the world's population is women.
在广州相亲圈啊，颜值如果绝对的高的话
In Guangzhou's matchmaking circles, if your looks are absolutely outstanding, you can't even imagine the advantage it gives you. Take, for example, a beauty who scores 8 out of 10 inches appearance. As long as her educational background isn't completely terrible, I'm Melissa Skolard, and she doesn't work in some unreliable profession, finding a partner will be incredibly easy. If her emotional intelligence is also high, then finding a man with an annual income of over $1 million is absolutely not a dream. But on the other hand, if this beauty not only has good looks, but also a strong educational background and a wealthy family, that actually makes it harder. Why? Because men who can truly match her are extremely rare. Even if you searched with a lantern, you wouldn't find them. So in Guangzhou's matchmaking scene, looks are the key to opening the door. But what happens afterwards still depends on fate and whether your own conditions align with those of your partner.
想结婚的话，男方必须答应我以下条件。
你说嘛？
彩礼30万行。
If you want to marry me, the man must agree to the following conditions. Bride price of 300,000 yuan, okay? No problem. The man's car and house must be transferred to my name, okay? No problem. After marriage, the man must hand over his salary card to me, okay? No problem. Also, I must manage the pension of the man's parents. No problem. And one more thing, I'm already 34, I'm older now. So after marriage, I don't want to have children. I don't want to give birth. No problem, no need to. I also don't want to do housework. I'll have the man hire a maid, that's fine. Okay then, let's just go live stream this and get married tomorrow, okay? No way. House, car, bride price, savings, parents' pensions, parents' savings, parents' house, and car. 3 generations of hard work, all just to be stolen away by you for one marriage? If you don't give me all this, can you guarantee you won't cheat? If the man asks you to do a premarital health check, is that okay? Surely he has the right to protect himself from you running off to a better man, right? No, not okay. Divorce isn't allowed either, is it? That's also not okay. What about dowry from your side then? Even more impossible. Stop making unreasonable demands, none of this is okay. Who's being unreasonable? You're the one saying no to everything. The man is giving you everything, and yet you still can't provide him with a sense of security. Get out of here already!
觉得自己好追吗？很好追。怎么才能拿捏你？
Do you think you're easy to pursue? Yes, very easy. How can someone win you over? Give us some details. I'm 23, born June 6th from Suqian, Jiangsu. Do you currently have a boyfriend? No. What's your ideal type? If I meet someone and the feeling is right, that's enough. In a relationship, what role do you play? I'm the type who is very proactive. But if my boyfriend is too passive, then I'll get upset. If your boyfriend gets angry, what will you do? I won't coax him. But if I try to coax him and it still doesn't work, then I'll get angry myself. So how do you hope he'll coax you? Actually, I'm very easy to coax. Just sincerely apologize. And give me a little gift. That's enough. In today's society, the reality of marriage in China has become increasingly worrying. According to official statistics, in 2023 alone, the number of couples registering for marriage dropped to under 7 million, the lowest level in more than 30 years. Meanwhile, the divorce rate has continued to rise, reaching over 40% in some regions. This reflects a fact. More and more young people are hesitating or even refusing to get married. But looking back, the family has always been the foundation that allowed society to remain stable for thousands of years. Family is where affection is preserved, where morality is nurtured, and where each individual finds solid support to grow. Traditional values such as filial piety, loyalty, and responsibility are not outdated. They are exactly the path to heal today's social fractures. This is what China Social Trends wants to emphasize. By returning to the core of family, we can rediscover trust and connection. And once again, China Social Trends reminds us, only when families are strong can society truly be stable. So what do you think? In today's world, should marriage be built primarily on love or on material conditions to ensure long-term security? Leave your controversial opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow more of our in-depth analyses. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye, and see you in the next episodes.